What is good, my friends? Anthony here, 6 Scale Mafia. Today, special Tuesday morning live stream, we have Joost, my friend. Welcome back again from Jazzinc. What is good? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We're firing on all cylinders here, so be delivering. Yeah, we got stuff to deliver this month. We've got the pre-order for the Jedi Starfighter going live. We are adding the last bit of extras on the 1989. Well, there's a lot to discuss, I think.
I think so too. I know, right? Because I know we just talked like a month ago, but all of a sudden there's all this new information. So I know.
Yep.
Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about, guys. So thank you guys all for joining in this morning. What should we get into right away? What do you think?
Well, I think people that came here for the Jedi Starfighter, and so if you want to know about the stuff coming up for the 1989, the last few things, then stick around till the end, I would say.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, let's bring it up. I mean, might as well. Guys, we're probably going to keep it about an hour and a half today. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, guys. We're just going to get kind of right into it. So Jedi Starfighter, we talked about it last month, right?
Yeah.
And we got a lot more to talk about now, right? So what can we talk about here?
Well, so we've been adding a lot of details and basically working on the design. That's the most important thing for the Jedi Starfighter. Let me get my notes here. So again, I want to give a shout out to the 3 most important people in this process who've been helping out. So that's first is 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗔𝗍𝗍, who's working diligently on his side for the modeling. Then, of course, Marshall Lotholt. I think he's probably in the chat or watching at least. And then, of course, Barry Murray with all the input we discussed last month about the Jedi Starfighter. And again, in the last month, we found out so many weird little things and discrepancies and stuff like that. Even today, I got an image where. So like things like the R2 unit, the height of the R2 unit. If you look at episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the thing is, well, it's up to his shoulders, down into that hole you're seeing, right?
Right.
And now I'm seeing shots where it's like way past his shoulder. And so again, we're going to be making decisions like we discussed last time with what are we going to do with the seat? Do we move it back so that Anakin's feet fit in? Then somebody told me that the seats are actually different for the 2 versions. So now we're looking at, well, at least the headrest is. So now we're looking at if we get enough support, maybe give 2 headrests so that people can switch it out. And of course, there's going to be 2 versions. So we did a poll in the group last month. Apparently there were 5 different versions in terms of design. They're all pretty much the same. So it's mostly a color scheme. And like I said, the headrest is different, but there is a yellow one, red one. This is the ones we know from Revenge of the Sith, but there are quick screenshots of a green one, a blue one, and then apparently there's a grayish Vader one with an Imperial logo on the side. So apparently, well, there's just not enough support for all those colors, so we're going to stick to making an Obi-Wan version and an Anakin one. That's been decided by the group.
Okay, so we got two definitive ones then.
Those are going to go up for pre-order. The pre-order is another live event, first come, first serve, this Friday. And then there are going to be 2 product pages for both the Obi-Wan and the Anakin versions.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so 2 versions. Wow. All right. So those are just I'm sorry,
you'll have pictures of both in the folder I sent you, so you'll be able to put them on screen later. This is where we are at with the model. If you zoom in, you can see the beginning of the seat. Well, actually, you can go through the pictures. I will start my Autodesk Fusion 360, and we can just talk through the model if there are any specific questions. Now, I'm going to ask everyone watching, not just now, but if you watch it later, turn your Hawkeyes on. This is the moment where we need all the feedback we can get, all the input we can get. info@jazzincdesigns.com, Joost@jazzincdioramas.com, Facebook group. We want to hear anything and everything you see that's not accurate. So right now, this is where we're at with the model. As you can see, the interior is basically just the chair. So we have a lot of detailing still to do on the interior. We know that. But as far as the exterior goes, we're pretty happy with that. We've got the measurements. So we need to know what else do you see on the outside, specifically on the underside. So we've gotten a lot of extra detail since the last time we spoke, added to that model on the outside, on the underside as well. And like I said, we will be adding more detail on the inside, but we need feedback, people. If you see stuff, we need to know about it. So there's going to be the different color schemes. We're hoping for enough support to have the different headrests. Again, this is tricky because somebody else told me that there's a brief shot of the interior when Anakin jumps out. I'm assuming when he crash lands into, what's his name again? The ship of the guy who coughs a lot.
Oh, yeah, for Grievous. Yeah.
Yeah, Grievous. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which shows yet another chair in the Anakin version. So there's even on Revenge of the Sith in Anakin Starfighter, there are two different interiors. So again, we'll have to make a choice. If anybody has a good reason to choose one over the other, why one is more accurate than the other or whatever, we are again very open to hearing about that. Yeah, so here you're looking at the Anakin version. This is the yellow version. I expect this is the most going to be the most popular version.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So now to address the biggest question I've gotten, your hand is hovering over that droid opening.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah. So there's a couple of reasons why. But I don't want to go into the character thing and get too close to anything that Hot Toys or Sideshow might take offense to. So I really do not want to do an R2 unit. However, we might have mentioned this in the last stream, or maybe that's come up in the Facebook group after. I don't remember. But people have been talking about the R2 stump. Now, the R2 stump is an interesting idea because then that. And I've tested this on my own. You can just pop off the top from your R2 unit and plop it on. Yeah. So we're looking into making a stump that's either going to be an integral part of the unit, but I'm hoping it's going to be something that you can also remove to make it look like this. So the goal is to have this whole for when they're flying without the R2 unit, which is how the ship was designed. If that's not possible, there's going to be a permanent R2 stump in there. And for the Kenobi version, there's going to be an R4 stump in there. And I've, of course, had to rewatch the movie again as research. There's a picture in the folder I sent you, which is actually just a screenshot. I think it's the last picture in the folder, if you want to jump ahead to that.
Let me see if I can.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't download it.
Have it. I could double check.
Well, then I will open it and show it. Yeah.
Maybe I don't have it. I thought I did.
Yeah, so this is a thought that struck me when I was watching this. Let me share window, this one. Here we go. So this is a screenshot. The buzz droids take off R4's head. And as you can see, there's quite a neat little R4 stump. This, I think, addresses the issue. If we design it flat like this, so it's not entirely flat but close enough, then you can still put on an R4 head if you want to make one for yourself. But then for the people who say, I don't have an R4 because they never made an R4, then this is completely screen accurate and we're not making a full figure. We're sticking to the stump. So the stump idea seems to work on many levels, and this would be my solution for the Obi-Wan version.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Because, yeah, like you said, like in production, right, they never really fit in the Starfighters. Yeah, so I mean, how do you work around that? I think that's probably the way to go. And then people who have their droids, now are you saying like just just making the stump area
lower
available, or actually creating that half of the droids too that are included?
Yeah, that's the goal, to include that lower half of the droid.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, I think so. So you could display it like this and be totally screen accurate. I mean, for the people who missed the other show that we did, let me show you the screenshots from the movie to show the problems. Yeah, this one and this one, and I'll share them again. Window. So this is why we have to move the seat back.
There we go.
Yeah, we've got Hayden's feet didn't fit in.
Right.
So they took out the front from the people who missed the last episode. But this is the problem with putting just, you can't put your entire R2 unit in there. Did I share that last bit for the R2 unit yet?
Let me see. Right here. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see, oh, and here again, you see, yep, this is what we're talking about. So the top screen where there's the green version, you see the R2 unit with the shoulders out. And if you go back to, or maybe you can't, maybe I have to do that. If you go back to this version, which is an actual screenshot from Revenge of the Sith, you'll see that
I've got 4 here.
Yeah, so it's the one where the heads, R4 heads, is gone.
Is it?
And you'll see that the shoulders are all the way down level with the so the tops of the legs are all the way flat down to the surface of the wing, as you can see. And the same is true for the R2 unit. So
right. That's going to be, yeah, I see exactly what you mean. So, I mean, exactly. Movie magic creates engineering challenges. Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. Every effing vehicle is the same thing. But we're going to probably go, because it's a lot easier to go with the stump that is movie accurate, where it's down even with the top of the wing, basically.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that would work. I think that would work, because then if people have the opportunity to like put in the top of their droids, that would work. I mean, because you're not going to be that's not going to work, right? It's just not going to work as a vehicle, right? People are not going to have a droid sticking out from the bottom of a wing. So I totally see
exactly. Yeah, and so what my master Bill Bro is saying, I would always want to be able to display it without the droid. So that's why we're hoping that we're going to make a stump that's basically half or less of the R2 body, which is, as you can see in the lower picture that you have on screen, that's all you'd need, right? The top half of the body to fill up that gap, if you want to have that in there. And for the R4, we'll see if we can make that battle damage. That's the goal we're going for right now. But again, all hangs on how much support we're going to get, and then you'll have your R2 and R4 stump. You can put your head on there, the one you have from your Sideshow or Hot Toys version, or you can just display it like the earlier pictures that we've shown, where the one, I think if you go back one more, you'll probably be able to. From the pictures, the pictures from your pictures.
Okay, here we go. Let me bring these back up here.
Yeah, so you can also display it like this. This is basically how the vehicle is designed anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So, and
I mean, I guess it really depends on if people really want to display it with a droid or not. I mean, that is a tough. It is kind of tricky, but I mean, I think it would be great just to have the vehicle.
Exactly.
Personally, but if you could, right, if you can overcome that, right, the movie magic,
love.
Yeah, well, it sounds like that's a good workaround, though. I think that's an acceptable workaround.
Yeah.
Personally,
yeah.
Damn, yeah, that is actually good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and based on the feedback, we're going to go with a more weathered paint job. So.
That looks nice. So those of you guys who just tuning in, then, so you have the Anakin version and then the Obi-Wan version. is what
Right.
we're going to be doing.
Exactly. So those two are going to be the ones. There were hardly any votes, like 2 or 3 for that blue and the green version. Right. So measurements. Let me share. Did you get that picture of the measurements, or what? Do you want me to share my screen? Okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't think I saw that.
Here are the measurements. There are in millimeters. So let me give you the inches. So we're talking about 35.9 inches in length, 28.2 inches in width, and then the height is no, that's not right. Yeah, 16.4 inches, right?
16
So that's
inches
what that
tall.
yeah, 16 inches tall, 28 inches wide, 36 inches long, basically.
Ooh, damn, 28. Wait, did you say 20, 26, 28?
28.2 to be exact.
So that would be like 28 deep on like a shelf.
Right. Or,
Okay.
of course, this is a good point to bring up. We're going to be giving you 2 display options. So we're going to be doing the same transparent acrylic feet that we've done with the snow speeder, so that you can have like a cool banking pose on a shelf, but they will also be compatible with wall mounts. So people have been doing DIY things with television mounts, and Stronghold displays is most likely, well, I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure, as they have done with the snow speeder and the Batwing, they're going to make a custom wall mount. So you don't have to have the wall, the shelf or display space to display this. You can just screw it to a wall or to the ceiling, whatever you want.
That's gonna be really cool. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Yeah, because I was just thinking like depth, like if you wanted to set it on a shelf, because like normal vehicles, right? But it's gonna be a little too. It'll be a little too deep. 26 deep. You'd have to have really deep shelves for that. So, okay. Well, that's good to know though. Being able to do either the acrylic stand that you're talking about or a wall mount. That's awesome.
Right.
Damn. That is gonna be.
It's the same size-ish as the snow speeder that we've done. So it's the same length, but not as wide, but slightly more complex. So and then we add the R2 and R4 stumps. Yeah. And in terms of how will it ship, that's most likely Carlos, let me sleep at your house. Yeah, that's gonna be a single box.
Single box. All right. 160 is nuts though. Good point, man. He was wondering what's the height if the wings are closed. Are they closable, or is this?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I do not know. Is my answer.
I would say not much shorter, right? Because the cockpit's still pretty high.
Yeah, I would say it's probably it's going to take a little from the bottom, but I don't know if I'll stop sharing again, and you can show the bottom view. There's also stuff coming out of the bottom in the design here, as you can see. So
you do have like kind
of yeah, and then you would still you wouldn't be able to lie it on a shelf, so you would still need the acrylic feet to put it in some kind of a pose.
Yeah, because it would just wobble. You don't have a flush flat surface.
No.
Okay.
No,
So yeah, you're definitely gonna need this propped up in some fashion.
Yeah.
Okay, man. All right, that'll be really good. That'll be really cool. If you can, I do have a few super chats that we can maybe just get through briefly here. Rockamon Chris, man, thank you so much for the $10, man. He says, because so much product is shipping internationally and at risk of travel damage, would you please consider switching to quality styrofoam on par with what some of the statue companies are using?
Well, it's the first time I heard that.
Okay. I think it's someone just I think because some of the styrofoam like kind of breaks apart real easy.
Right.
Maybe they think that's what he's referring to, as far as like the statue ones are like really hard, like stiff styrofoam. I think that's what he means. I think that's what he means.
I could look into it, but if I look at the stuff that we've been shipping recently, the big damage is negligible. Like the 1966, no big. The styrofoam did its job 100%. So I don't remember a single thing that is a styrofoam related damage issue. Same for the other stuff. Now on the snow speeder, we did try the minimal size, but that's just because the box was so effing big that you just run into the shipping cost problem, right? For you try to keep the shipping costs down, but even then, it's less than 1% that had damage. But if you look at the kind of tackle football that was played with that box, I don't think. I mean, I'm willing to look into this, but I doubt it would make much of a difference. And since this is just slightly less voluminous than the snow speeder, I think we can get away with a little bit more styrofoam. But again, I've opened the model, by the way, so if you want to discuss that later, I can do that now.
Oh, yeah, we definitely will. Yeah. Definitely will.
Anyway, so more super chats?
Yeah, just a couple more here. So I do appreciate Oilers, my man. Thank you so much, dude. $5. Would you consider sending me the money one? I buy with no color detail so I can customize, so I can custom paint it for a specific Jedi whose name rhymes with smoke.
Yeah, I do get the question a lot, but the thing is, we make them in batches, and what people don't understand is how many steps and layers you're talking about when you're building this, when you're assembling this, when you're base coating it, painting it, weathering it, sealing it, then fading and shading and all that sort of thing. To randomly pick one out of that batch, that is just undoable. So we basically say no, because it's just not one step that you're just taking them out. So
right, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, cool. I do appreciate that, though, Oilers. And Carlos, my man, also the $5 super chat says, just got my Batwing. Great job. Also, have you given any thought about adopting me? Anthony isn't down to be my puppy.
Well, I mean, I do run the risk of becoming an empty nester in the next couple of years. So ask me in like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance, yes.
There's a chance.
I'm not looking forward to that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty funny.
I love having my kids around.
Oh, I bet. So, I think you had something shared, or was it what I still had here?
Oh, I don't know if you're done with all the pictures, but if there are any specific questions, I have the model open now, so we can.
Oh, okay. Well, we can definitely bring that up. We can definitely bring that up if you'd like.
Yeah.
I don't see it unless you have it.
I'm working on it.
All right. Justin McFly, my man, so fingers crossed for the Mach 5 and kit.
Right. Yeah, so kit first. And there was a big licensing due in London last week. And so all people, including my contact at Universal, was very busy preparing for that, and then he went to that, and so he's traveling back. I've sent him a message to talk and continue talking about kit. So that's first on the agenda for me, and I'm really getting close to. Finally, I hope to continue talks about that. I just don't know. It's all in Universal's hand. I'm
whether or not, I see what you mean. Yeah, so it's kind of a waiting situation if it can be done.
Yeah. So basically, the early feedback is they were very excited about our other vehicles and the stuff that we've done. And we've also gotten a very warm recommendation from Warner Brothers and another person in the business. And the only thing they're looking into is that, what's the word? I think in several countries it got a different name. So it's Fan Home and De Agostini and all that. They're doing the subscription 8th scale kit, as you might remember.
Yeah. Yeah, because those are the ones that come out every month or bi-weekly,
yeah.
and you assemble. Yeah.
Yeah, I've looked at that. There's 110 packages or issues you're talking about. Yeah. And they're looking into if that is the 6 scale isn't going to be too close to that. So that might be the biggest fly in the ointment as far as I can tell right now. But again, we're very serious about kit. We've also talked to Universal about sweetening the pot for them if they're interested. Jurassic Park is high on that list. Other things that they have which might also work for us are Fast and the Furious, Battlestar Galactica, and there's a couple others I've mentioned. Again, I would love to start with just kit, see how that goes.
Sure.
And take it from there. But we're very serious about this from our end, willing to put up what's the word? A big minimum guarantee, basically, so that they
right through the licensor. So yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, no, look, we're not just going to do one thing. Like, we're going to do this. We will give you that. Minimum
we could guarantee you X amount of licensing income, whether we sell a single unit or not. Right. So yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you give me a Cylon Raider or a Viper.
Yeah. I think Jurassic Park is even more viable just because I've seen that a lot, and if I look at the comments now, there's a lot of people excited about. So I think Kit and Jurassic Park would be a great way to start, or maybe even just Kit if we can do that. So.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, Pierce Stewart's got a good point. No one's really touching Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
that would be pretty badass.
Yeah, and the only thing, because it's such an obvious one, the only thing I'm worried about is that it might just be the same situation that we ran into with Warner Brothers and what's that franchise, Mad Max, where they initially approached us about adding that to the license, and then we're like, yeah, good, let's do that, and they were like, oh crap, we don't have the license specifically for vehicles and figures, which is why you don't see any Mad Max toys, just other paraphernalia. But and so because I'm just almost curious, why has nobody ever touched Jurassic Park like Hot Toys or InArt or Sideshow or whatever?
Yeah, so I don't know if they either think it's not going to do very well, or if there's just difficult licensing. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So okay. Chronicle had Jurassic Park in 6th and it went under. Okay.
They were working on Grant. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it was Chronicle. They're
all right. So, but the good news is then that it is possible. That is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rocinati. Yeah, dude. I'd do an Expanse ship for sure. I love the Expanse. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So guys, we can go ahead and take a look here. So we are looking at, this is your current rendition.
Current rendition, work in progress. Again, together with Eisen, who is working on this. As you can see, the seats in there, but the rest of the cockpit is very, very bare yet. So that's. I'm
gonna full screen a little so I can see better. Yeah. There we go.
But so basically on the exterior, I think all the detail is there, with the details in the wings and all the panels and the panel lines and the little greeblies here on the side and at the bottom, and so I'm giving everybody a very good look to make sure that you can spot anything that might be an issue. But with the people that have been looking at it so far, I think it looks good.
Yeah, that looks really cool. That looks really good. I don't know. I'm not an expert when it comes to the Starfighter, right? So anybody out there, like Joost just mentioned, if you know anything that looks off or not as accurate, or certain things that they did in production, now's the time, right? Basically.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, wow. That is pretty damn cool, man.
Yeah.
And then so the two different colors are basically going to be minus like the droid area, right? That's really going to be like the only kind of noticeable difference between the two.
So the headrest, the color difference, but there's a difference in the pattern as well. So if you could put up maybe the yellow one and the red ones, the pictures I sent you, or I could put them up here. That's fine too.
I might. Let's see here. I think I've got them. So we've got. I can kind of skim through. So we've got.
Yeah, this one. And yes, it does have exterior lights, at least 2 at the front that I know of. So there's going to be cockpit lights and exterior lights done, Justin. But as far as I know, it's at least the on the front there are 2 exterior lights.
Okay. All right. I don't know
So
if I have the other one here.
yeah, if you look at the pattern on the front of the wing, and especially check out the side so that little pattern and the side of those flaps, what are we calling those? Side flap things.
Mm-hmm.
That is just almost a big pile of yellow on the Anakin version. If you look at the Obi-Wan version, that is different.
Okay, so there'll be noticeable differences then with the paint apps and then droid compartment. Okay.
Do you also did you also download the Obi-Wan pictures?
I don't know if
you want me to open it. Ailerons. All right.
You may have to, because I think this is all.
Okay. Well, I have them here. I'm sharing my whole screen here, right? So
yeah, let me see if I can bring your whole. Yeah, right now we're looking at the render.
Yeah, so let me just put the preview in there. Are you seeing this? No. Weird. All right, no problem.
We're not.
So
I think we're. I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing your library here.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So again, a couple of renders I did this afternoon from the different angles so that people can look. But
there we go. Bring it up.
Yeah. So this is the Anakin version. Really cool.
Those colors pop.
Yeah, I want them both, man. But this is the Obi-Wan version. So as you can see, especially the ailerons, thank you for that, Oilers Workshop. Those are painted quite differently, and the rear of the vehicle as well. And there's something, if I zoom in, will you see that? Yeah, you will. This maybe these are droids shot out of the sky. I don't know, but yeah. So this is the Obi-Wan version that we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Lionheart says interesting, but not about price hike for 160L vehicle compared to other vehicle price. What is the justification? Are we talking about price here? Because I mean, so you said this was going up Friday, but I wasn't sure what the price is actually. Maybe that's what
so it's basically because it's the same size as the Snowspeeder, but we have basically a little bit of inflation correction that we had to do since the Snowspeeder was almost 2 years ago, and we had to add for the R2 stump. So the price instead of $17.99 is now $18.99, $100 for inflation, and the R2 stump. I don't think that's very bad at all.
Okay. So you said it was $18.99.
Yeah.
$18.99, guys. Okay, good. Okay, good to know. Because I wasn't sure. I remember you saying it was going up Friday, but I didn't remember the exact pricing on that. So, and then so when those come up Friday, that's going to be both versions.
Yes, both versions. Because a lot of people have said they want both. I want both. So we're going to put them up both. We need, we need all the support that we can get on these. I'm a little apprehensive because this is the first. Well, not completely the first time, but this is basically we've only done the original trilogy. This is the first time. Well, this is the first time we're doing the prequels. That's true.
Yeah.
Now it's the most popular vehicle in the I think in that period, and it's the most popular movie, Episode 3. So it's pretty good. But if I look at the response in my Facebook group, it's much less even than the Star Wars stuff, which is already much less than the Batman stuff in terms of support. So we do have minimum order quantities that we have to meet with our suppliers, and even though that's not a lot for 6-scale collecting, we still. So I urge everybody, spread the word and support us early on. And like with the 89, where a lot of people did put their money where their mouth is. I keep adding extra stuff now, so that's the good thing. If everybody
Also
supports.
True. Yeah, also true, right? Also true. Do you have a couple of quick super chats again though? Carlos, man, thanks, my man, too, for the $5. Says, Joost, do you think you'll ever make John Wick's Mustang? Sorry if you've answered this in the past.
I don't. Never say never, but I don't even remember having seen that question before. So that's never a good sign, basically. And what does anybody know who owns the Wick franchise?
Bob might if he's in the chat, but I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean,
but thank you, Carlos.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't really heard anybody ask either, so I understand what you mean. Like, if you don't feel like there's a big enough demand, then is there a big enough order to fill?
No.
Right, to make it.
There's so much what I would do before that. Like I said, Kit, Mach 5, James Bond's DB5, and the list goes on. There's still, and then I'm not even tackling all the Batmobiles that I still want to do. So it would be way down on the list. A Jurassic Park vehicle would be first.
Yeah, I see
Jurassic,
what you mean.
Fast and the Furious vehicles probably better than the John Wick franchise for vehicles. I'm guessing. So
okay. Well, yeah, never say never, right? But yeah,
no
real plans at this time though. Fair enough. No, that's right.
So figures. Yeah, still a waiting game. We're now getting a little bit of pushback from China specifically, and we're still waiting. Yeah, and we're still waiting on the final hoops legally in the USA. So all the other countries are locked, loaded, and everything is signed and everything is done. Now,
are you saying is it China licensing getting pushed back or?
Yeah, China licensing. So it might be the case that we can sell worldwide except China, which is fine. I don't do a lot of business in China, but apparently it's the mother company of 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗥 that they're either is asking them or they are looking out for. I don't know, but that's it's a Chinese name they mentioned. I googled it. Apparently, Queen Studios 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕 is part of that company. So I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I got you. Right. So they want that kind of that mainland exclusivity, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so all the other countries in the world have signed and it's been done, and we're still waiting for the USA final things. So we're very close. It's just taking a goddamn long time. That's basically the reality. That's it.
Well, yeah, I guess yeah. But that's okay though. If you can secure non-Asian licensing, then that would that's not really much concern, like you said. As if you can get it for the States, Europe, etc.
Basically, if Europe and the States. And the funny thing is, I mean, South Korea is on board. Talk about that's Hot Toys, right? Hot Toys territory, and no problem.
Yeah.
But so basically the only country that is possibly saying no now at the last minute after it was a worldwide deal is China. That's basically what we're talking about.
And they were seemingly okay prior, and then now they're
the first this months and months and months ago I was told that a worldwide thing wouldn't be a problem, especially since Warner Brothers now also seeing, I mean, a dozen or more illegal figures, Warner Brother figures alone, have been done and released in the last year, right? From Alfred to the 2022 Penguin to the 1966 Joker to the 1966 Riddler to, I mean, the list goes on. The 1966 Batman and Robin. So basically, a lot of the figures I was planning to do, the B and C characters. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it is true. There's a lot.
We were going to get a visit from a delegation from Warner Brothers on October 16th, and now the CEO has also said they were coming, so maybe I'll have more information after October 16th. So
okay, all right. Well, I guess we'll stay updated on that when that happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Definitely.
that. Yeah. So do appreciate that, 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗕𝗓, man, my man. And I do have one more from Mark Lee. Do thank you, man, for the $5. It's Fast and Furious. I'd sell my house to get Paul Walker's Supra. That's a huge franchise. Many vehicles. Thank you, my man.
And figures, right? I mean, getting a Paul Walker and what's the big guy?
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, Vin Diesel. Sorry.
Oh,
I always mix them up with the other. I am Groot. No, he is I am Groot. Anyway, sorry for that. Brain fart. Yeah, I Fast and Furious. It could be interesting both in terms of figures and vehicles. So
yeah, that would be. I believe I saw Brother Cousins, my man Jay. In the house too.
Man.
What is up, brother man? He says, has anyone asked about Stephen King's Christine?
No, he is officially the first. Where I couldn't be sure about John Wick, I can definitely be sure nobody's ever said about Christine. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I get that, right? Because you got to know, like, is it going to be? Is there enough demand? Right? Is there enough demand? I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool, but yeah, as a business though, I totally get it. Like, you need to know, like, all right, cool. Batmobiles, yeah, they're gonna go, right? For example,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I think Jurassic Park would work very well too. I do.
Yeah, but looking at all these responses, I'm thinking maybe Fast and the Furious over Jurassic Park as a second franchise to add to the contract. But again, let's see what they say. Universal, they've been hot and cold in the past, so it's hard to predict. There's and now somebody through Disney and through Warner Brothers is poking them. Hey, Warner, the Jazzinc guys are cool. So I hope, especially now that I've dropped. The thing is, I dropped I had to drop the Back to the Future thing because that was when we were talking initially. That was Back to the Future and then KITT and because nobody was talking DeLorean or DeLorean 2 or 3 or all the other Back to the Future stuff, right?
Right.
And so then
here, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, after they were very hot, they turned very cold, and then Hot Toys showed their 6-year-old prototype for the DeLorean 2 again. So I'm assuming there's a connection there. And now I'm like, I'm back. Please just drop the DeLorean thing. Let's talk about KITT and then the Jurassic Park and who knows, Fast and the Furious. So
now, see, I'm curious because you mentioned this, right? You mentioned like, oh, you know, bringing up Disney and then talking about Universal. People ask this? Well, people have asked me a lot, but I don't know the definitive answer here. But like, so you're doing like dioramas, we're doing Star Wars stuff. This is clearly Star Wars. This is Anakin or Jedi Starfighter, and there's within boundaries, like that's still all right to do, like as far as Disney's concerned, like there's not like an issue. They don't.
No, they've actually
or anything. There's kind of a relationship there, right? I mean,
yeah, but with a couple of people, and one of them is championing my stuff very high up in the on the chain, and he says they are interested in working out a deal. So who knows? But right now it's such low volume that it's well within boundaries of, you know, in some cases we're talking a few dozen units worldwide, right? I mean, that's too small beans for a contract. So I mean, if we were talking about the scale that we're doing for the Batmobile, where in some cases we're talking 500 units worldwide, right? That's a different scenario, but that we're nowhere near that for Star Wars.
Okay. Just wasn't. Yeah, I just didn't know if they're going to be leaning more towards into a situation where they may be like, hey, you know what? We'll just totally, you know, partner in with you, you know, and be like officially licensed, and you can go ahead and do this, that, and the other, and you know, just didn't know if that was something that was.
Again, it's a hot and cold thing where all of a sudden it's there's a lot of communication back and forth, and then it's silence for months. So it's hard to tell. In the meantime, I'm just doing the small things, and I'm fine. Yeah, it's really hard to say with these things. Yeah, it's considered fan art, and there's a lot of fan art. I mean, you've got NYC, and then there's tons of lightsaber companies that make replicas and actually name it by name, and then there's the Stormtrooper store, and there are so many Lucasfilm things that they just live and let live, I guess.
It's interesting. They strike a little bit. Sorry, they strike more on figures, I've noticed.
Yeah, and we're doing and back when we did the cockpit, these things are always checked by customs, right? And then customs contacted Disney, and they were like, "Are you okay with this?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're okay with this." So.
Oh, really? I didn't know they would do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So they were. Yeah. And they could have just cease and desist back then, and that was, I don't know, 4 years ago.
Yeah, a while back, right? I mean, just with the dioramas in general. I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would still be considered within that range, right? I would think if they cared. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's
and we're
really
coming
cool.
up. I mean, we're coming up on 10 years next year. So come on. I mean, if they would have said something, they would have said something by now. Yeah.
10 years. It's pretty good. And you just recently expanded, right? You got a new office, right, as well?
Yeah, because we needed more space to store stuff, because we're going up and down so fast in terms of real storage volume that we need, right? Where this month, last month, we shipped out, was it August and or September? I don't remember. We shipped out the last batch of the 1966s, so that's a lot of space coming in and then going out again. And then there's still people on payment plans. I've got people that have ordered this thing in 2019 that are still paying off. We're much more strict with that now, because I'm paying, I don't know, close to $4,000 a month in rent, and that's not funny anymore. But then this month we're going to be delivering all the signature Zack Snyder vehicles, so all BVS orders and all Justice League orders, as well as the very first batch of the 2022. Then we've got more. So basically, all of the batches of the 2022 are going to be coming and in and being finished for us, and then shipped out before Christmas. Then we got the 1995, and then if we got a bunch of people that are not paying off, I need that storage, right? So yeah, and the fact that they came with offices, that was a bonus. And now we're sitting there, we're working there, and we're loving that. But that was not the goal. But yeah, I got a couple of pictures.
Yeah, sure. We can definitely pull those up when you have. I don't know if those are. Oh, sure. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
So yeah, So we don't have the entire building. We're just on the ground floor, but we negotiated that we could put our logo up on the premises, because the people that left had it up there too, and they were like, yeah, sure, it was cool. So yeah, these are my boys.
No, that's awesome. I like that. Oh wow, yeah, there you go. Wow.
If you look close,
that's really cool. Yeah. That's really cool. Like I know, like you said, it wasn't really planned, but just the evolution of things. Oh, I like that.
My wife is there. Yeah. That's awesome. So yeah, that's we're there now, working on a showroom. My Module Case stuff is finally shipped. So it's coming in later this week. And I've chartered a bunch of Luke's friends to come help me. So I'm hoping next week, when the Warner Brothers people come, I'll have it up. And then of course,
you have it all set up. And
yeah. And then in Module Cases, and then of course I'll do a YouTube video or something about that.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So then I can finally show my own collection off and have a cool place, and the space for because the Netherlands, it's all very small. To have space to really display all my stuff, it's just so cool. I mean, my cousin, when they came to visit to the new premises, they were like, dude, remember a little over 3 years ago you were still in your garage and using my attic as extra storage space, and I'm like, that's correct. That is crazy. So yeah.
Dude. Well, I mean, no, that's a huge feat, man. Obviously, like, congrats. That is really cool. I mean, that's going to be really cool too, having the Wadji cases. Because you're gonna have your own, like, especially when you say, like, if Warner Brothers comes in, anybody comes in, they can come to the office and then have this really badass display of everything. You're like, well, this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've bought a bunch of plexiglass prints to put up on the wall. Actually, the cool designs that our friend Nico made, I thought that was kind of cool. Let me see if I can show you that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take a look here, guys, in just a second while you pull that up. Yeah, that's really cool. Really sincere congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've gotten these big, they're 3 foot, these prints on like this, on big plexiglass. They're going to go on the walls, with the packaging and the vehicle and the logos and the signature plate, that sort of thing. So Christopher Nico rocks, and he makes these cool designs that we use for our packaging, and then now we're going to put them up on the wall as well.
That'll be cool. That'll look really cool. I can't wait to see how it looks. And it's especially cool that you're employing the friends to help with the Wadji cases, because it's gonna be they're awesome. But you want some labor. Come on, and help. Especially I don't know how much you grab, but probably a lot. So.
It's apparently it's like 30 minutes a case, and with the cases I have, that's going to be 8 to 10 hours. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're setting up a whole everything, so that's gonna be wow, it's gonna be awesome. So go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll lose it.
Okay. No, so So I don't know if you remember. Was it in the last stream that we talked about? I wanted to buy back some of my old stuff.
Yeah.
I got some. I got my old carbon freezing chamber back. I've got the Bespin gantry back. So I've got a cool place to put my Luke DX25. I finally unboxed that. Looking for some cold cathode lightsabers. So if anybody out there has a 6-scale Luke and Darth Vader in stock, ready to ship, I'll pay whatever you want, and I'll get the shipping label, because I want that too. And so I got a bunch of my old stuff. And if anybody's in the Pittsburgh area, I'm looking for someone who could box up one of the very first diorama I ever made, the big Death Star hallway. I found it, but the person doesn't want to ship it overseas. So if somebody can help me with that,
Okay. Damn. But he's willing to get shipped, to just ship somebody else, and then they can ship it to you, and then
whatever. Or if you're in the Pittsburgh area, you can go there and pack it up, and I'll pay for shipping, of course.
Well, that's cool, being able to get all that back, because you're gonna want every single thing that I think anyway, right? Everything you've done.
Almost. I will have almost everything again, so that's so cool. So this is a cool question. Do you mind if I answer that? Keith Lee asks, as a fellow collector, I'm curious to know what upcoming releases of Hot Toys, InArts, etc. he's excited about. Well, I'm very excited about the InArt stuff. I bought some from you, remember? So I bought the Joker, and then I went to Speculative Fiction, and I bought Aragorn, and of course the 2022 Batman. Yeah,
I don't remember if you got Gandalf. I know you got Batman.
Yeah, the 2022 Batman. I bought the whole pack because I wanted both Batman and the Bruce Wayne. So I'm very excited. I really want to see the InArt stuff in hand. I'm very excited about all of that. The Aragorn one looks great. I ordered the Harry Potter one.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, but my son is crazy about Harry Potter, so I had to have that. For Hot Toys, I've got the Return of the Jedi. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. The Return of the Jedi Vader. I'm curious about that. I've got
same.
What's coming up? I could log into my account, Keith.
Most recently, I think the Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan show sometime soonish, right? And they said October to March. I know it's not soonish, but that could be shipping soon.
And they did another artisan version that I missed out on.
The Anakin or
no, Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
now
yeah.
increased the edition sizes, by the way. Now it's 3,000 for a limited artisan edition, but missed out on that one too. Well, I'm not too gong over that. I wanted the Anakin one. Yeah. So what did I get? Most recently, I finally pulled the trigger on the Mark III construction version diorama from Hot Toys together with the die-cast and the mech test version, all the re-releases because I missed them before. Yeah.
Are you excited about the BVS Superman that InArt announced?
Excuse me?
Or have you been out of the loop?
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, speculative fiction. Do they have it up?
They might have it up. They might have it up. I need to double check.
Oh,
but yeah, BVS.
I did see the Superman, but I saw the super. You talking about Superman or BVS
yeah,
Batman?
Superman. Yeah, no, Superman.
Oh yeah.
No, the BVS Superman.
Sorry. I did see that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was like,
if it comes out, if it comes out like that, yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
that's gonna be cool.
And then they showed off the 2-pack Christopher Reeve Superman as well.
Oh, cool.
So nothing up yet for PO yet, but yeah, they did show that off. So
yeah. Oh man, it looks so cool.
They're looking really cool.
The first impression is okay, right? For there were some issues with the Joker, with the magnets popping off and stuff like that. But anybody have any feedback on their stuff?
I mean, from what I saw, I thought it was great. The thing is, the magnets, I would just say, is that, on the bases, they just use 2 small magnets. And the thing is with the Joker, if you remember Heath Ledger's Joker, he's got those weird, like, tipped shoes, like where his toes are kind of upward. They're not completely flush. So I wouldn't say every figure is falling, but like you really want to set it like just right. And you don't even know sometimes if you have it just right, because a few days later it could tip. So I've noticed that. I don't know if it's every person who's had it has had it dropped or not, but I think it's mostly because of the way the shoes are, and that the magnets are the whole base is not magnetic.
Right.
Like underneath they just use 2 specific magnets separated, X amount apart. So you have to like really like align them just to sit right. So, but other than that, I think it's amazing. I can't wait to see what they're doing with all these other. My game should be shipping soon, or I think here this week even. So I can't wait for that. I mean, yeah.
Which one?
The Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at speculative fiction. The only ones I'm not interested in and didn't order were the Pennywise and the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. For the rest, I pre-ordered them all. I want them.
Yeah. No, they look great, dude. They look great.
They are amazing in art. Absolutely.
I think so too. It's just they're just starting out, but I mean, there's let's see what happens in the next couple of years. I mean, I'm excited for them. I forget. I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but we also, if we can, you got a couple of updates here for the 89, right?
Right.
What can we talk about with this?
Yeah. So
let's see.
We're into the engineering phase now. So we finalized the design.
Let's see if I can zoom in. Here we go.
So looking at that hub cap or the rims, or what do you Americans call that? The dark green thing? Is that a rim or a hubcap, or what would you call those? Or...
You're talking about the hubcap, the inside here, or
no, the whole part, the whole dark green part. What would be the correct name?
Oh, hell if I know.
Okay, so whatever. People are always worried about the rubber sagging. So you can see the scoops in there. Those are there to make sure that it can't sag. And a similar construction is in the 1966. So I've seen a couple of people, the rim, Justin, I'll take that, or wheel. But people that put their 1966
these slits here. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah. So we're putting those slits in there so that the rubber can't sag. Basically, it's resting on the rubber, but then the rubber is supported. The sidewall of the rubber is supported by those scoops, and we've got a similar construction in the 1966 going, so that can't ever completely sag in either. That's one.
Saying. So these are all kind of holding the tires up.
Yeah, they're holding the tires up, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, as you can see, we're engineering for parts. So then you see the base underneath that they used in the movie for the thing to rotate on. We're still working on how that's going to rotate and what we're going to do there. So that's an extra part that we're adding. Then, of course, we've got the shin breakers or wings or whatever you want to call that. Those are optional pieces that pop in.
So are you saying we can put these in if we want, or do they come out?
No, you can put them in if you want.
Okay.
And then the second picture shows the okay. Yeah, so I said I wouldn't do it, but I did it anyway because people kept asking. This is going to be the only one of the models that has not only the accelerator and the throttle and the brake pedal, but also the accurate version of this, because this is such brand new information. Again, a shout out to William Babington who helped figure this out. There's only one brief 1 second shot in the movie where you see him punch the accelerator when he's in the car with Vicky Vale. Now, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody knows somebody who knows this is an actual rudder pedal from some kind of airplane, apparently. The throttle I'm talking about. So they identified the part, and we were able to draw it out that way. And the same goes for the brake, which is also a very specific brake pedal that's also going to be added. So that's another little extra that was not in the cards, but we're making molds for that. So this is that's a new addition since the last time we talked. And then, as you can see, we're engineering for how the different parts of the body will fit together. As you can see with those the keyholes in the last shot.
In here?
If you zoom in, no, that one. Yeah, you see all the holes and the keys. Yeah, so that's how all the body parts are being. And so that's, people ask me, so what's the difference between you doing the 3D modeling until it's accurate and then engineering? Well, engineering is how are you going to break it up into parts? How are those parts going to fit together? What kind of substructure? How are they going to be supported, like with those purple rods you see? All that sort of thing. That's the difference between the design phase and the engineering phase for production. So moving on to that picture. Yeah. So you're seeing the what is that? The yellow part that opens up for the bat discs. That's another addition.
Oh, okay. So this is now this is going to slide open essentially. Like you have the option to slide that open. You have the option to put the wing sides on. In. Okay.
Yeah. So those are that's what we've been doing for the 1989 and last month, engineering it for production, engineering the construction, engineering the parts, adding the extra parts.
Okay. All right, dude. This is freaking gonna be sweet, I think. Real quick, DK though, my man, celebrating a year, 12 months of channel membership. My brother man says, what's up, Anthony and Joost? Just paid my shipping for the 22 Batman mobile. Now just need to get one of these companies to release a figure. Yeah, soon, right? Soon, brother.
That is a point of pride that the most difficult engineering collectible for the 2022 is going to be the first that comes out. That is,
that's gonna be sweet. This 89 though, I mean, you just keep updating this. Is this are more updates coming, or do you think
of course
that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know me, I just want 89. I mean, I like all of them, but 89 is the Batmobile to me. Yeah.
So So there's two parts to that question and two parts to the answer. So first, of course, there's going to be a lot of updates because we're going to be engineering, and there's just going to be steps in the process. So I'll keep taking everybody on that ride of working towards that beautiful 89 vehicle. But in terms of updates, as in new features or extras, which is what I think you implied in your question. Yes. That all depends on, so we're now in the final stages of engineering, right? So that means, right, pretty soon, and I've said it before, end of October, mid-November, so that's weeks away now, we're going to be committing to production. And then again comes that science of exactly how long should these molds last, right? So you're it's not like, let's say for the 1966 this thing is done, we finished production, and people say, oh, but you still have the molds, you could do a production again. Well, technically no, because the molds have worn out. Because if you buy a mold for say 500 ejection runs, then after that it really starts to lose
it degrades.
It degrades, yeah. And so that's the most important question we have to answer when we start committing to a production number. The next phase after this, starting mid-November, is that we are going to our supply chain to make those molds. And some of those molds are really half or a man high, right? So that takes months of machining, and that's the most expensive part. This also the main reason why our stuff is so expensive, because we make those molds for such limited numbers that the price of that massive mold has to be divided by a lot lower number, right? In our case, 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces is crazy numbers for us, versus the 50,000 pieces. You could divide that same investment of say $100,000 for if you're Hot Toys, right? So that works down to a much cheaper unit. Now, for the 89, why am I saying this? When we commit to that production number, we have to say close the pre-orders, and that's coming in November. We always see a peak when the deadline comes and people know, okay, I have to commit now and choose.
Right, now's the time, right? Like,
now's the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a little peak in sales, and if that peak in sales is high enough, I might be able to add more. So right now, just assume this is going to be it. All the extras we've already discussed, including what I've just shown as more extras. And then it depends on how many die-cast pieces I can do. This, again, comes down to tolerances, which I've mentioned in the previous stream, is much worse for die-cast pieces than for the specific materials that we're using for the rest of the car.
Okay.
But again, we're going to see in the next couple of weeks when we close the pre-orders and the people decide to get in on the action.
I know there's some people who are reserved, and I'm trying to think of how I would say this, that there are some who would prefer, or I guess what I'd say, what would you say to people who prefer to wait and see an actual physical product before ordering? Because it seems like in the case, right, like pre-orders are going to be done and there's nothing physical to show.
Except that you have to trust us that we always deliver and try to over-deliver. But yeah, you are right. And this is the catch-22 of my business.
Yeah,
because I know I can sell more if I keep the pre-orders open longer after we've committed to production. However, I've done that in the past, and then the question becomes, how many more pieces do you order? And then what if we get... So the most clear situation was everybody kept pestering me to make an Iron Scavenger, the Vulture, right?
Right, I remember.
So I made that, and I committed to a production, and I made a few extra because I know people will want it. Then the Chinese companies... Two Chinese companies last minute make a much smaller, more inaccurate version, but much cheaper, and boom, I lose 10% of my orders. I still have stock, so I'm not doing that anymore. I know I can sell more, but whatever happens, what if Hot Toys says we're gonna or Sideshow does a 25% off, and people are saying like, well, okay, now the price difference is too much, I'm just going to go for the cheaper inaccurate version, and boom, sorry, Joost, and I'm stuck with that big investment in that stock. It's just that because our margins are so slim, that could put the entire development, 18 months of both time and money, put us in the red. So I know I could sell more, but the risk is too great. So I'm just going to close pre-orders and accept that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to want it when we start delivering vehicles because that's always been the case. I've got 250 people on the wait list for the 1966. That's been open for pre-order for almost 3 years. So
yeah, well, and that's just, that's a lot of consumer. That's just kind of how a lot of people are, right? I mean, they can see photos and or like renders or ideas and concepts, but once they, like, a lot of people want to see something physical, and then they're like, oh, okay, now, like you said, like the Batmobile, look at the wait list for the 66, because all of these people are now like, hey, I've seen this physically and I want this. Whereas prior to that, right, there's a lot of reservations sometimes for people, and I see what you mean is a catch-22, because then they could be like, damn, I maybe shouldn't have waited. And but it's
to answer 𝗦𝗔𝗩𝗘𝗥, we are of course going to show the prototype first, because the prototype is going to be done and has to be checked by us and the company making the molds to see if everything is going to work. So people like the 1995 are going to see a pre-production version, a prototype version, but that's not going to be as smooth and as good and as detailed.
It's not your final product.
No. So people must realize, like with the 1995, if you look real close, that's 3D printed parts, and even though it's been sanded and whatever, it's not going to be as good as the final product. Plus, we always keep making some final changes and upgrades and additions, and they're always for the better. So yes, you're going to be able to see a physical product before we close the pre-orders, but that's going to be a prototype, and it's not as good as the final product. Basically, that's it. And it's a catch-22, and I realize it's difficult, but I've been on the other side where I bought extras for those people and been burnt, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
I can totally see that. The only reason I bring it up for the 89 in particular is because we know that Hot Toys is doing their reissue. So a lot of people who are interested in an 89, well, they're seeing that already, right? So they're like, well, maybe I'll go with that. But you know, every time we talk and all these updates, though, I mean, you're showing so much involved into this 89. I mean, it's awesome. So I'm like, okay, I mean, you don't have to convince me, but I just mean,
if you're a casual collector, buy the Hot Toys version, you're going to be fine. But if you're passionate about this, and we're going to put the products side by side, you'll see the difference in size, you'll see the difference in the sculpt and the details, you'll see the difference in accuracy and features with the die-cast parts, the lights, the sound, and the smoke on remote, and all those little things. And for some of them, that might be worth it. And there's a bunch of collectors that also love the fact that they know that it's going to be 10, 20, 30 times more exclusive than even the reissue, let alone compared to what's already out there. It's going to be 50 times more limited edition. It's going to come with a limited signed and numbered plate. So it's a different product for a different audience, and I understand it and I respect it. I mean, a couple of months ago, or maybe even now, I don't know, you said you hadn't made up your mind because it's a big price difference, and I get it.
Yeah. Well, and it's valid, right? I mean, because I mean, obviously, we talk all the time, but I'm just like everybody else as well as a customer, right? So these are the general customer thoughts, like, hey, well, I don't know, like this one's more. How big of a fan am I? I mean, I know how big of a fan I am, but these are the thoughts that are going to be running through people's minds, right? Of course, how invested are you in this particular IP? Do you want to spend this much more on the same vehicle that's half, or what's the pros and cons? You know what I mean? Those are all thoughts that people go through.
Totally
but,
legit.
Huge differences, of course.
Yeah, for the people who care about it, there's going to be huge differences. For the people who are the casual collector, they're going to be like, all right, looks the same to me.
Right. Some will, right? I mean, because but those are the casuals, in my opinion. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but like, I mean, like for people who, like, if you have friends that come over and look at your figures or something, for example, they don't know they don't know what company's this, what company's that. They just see it and go, oh, cool, that's Batman. Right. So if there are people who are just like, well, I just need something for Batman, I'll go that route.
Yeah, and if those friends will see the Hot Toys Batmobile and say, hey, that's the Batmobile. That's how I remember it. It's like 90% there, right? Right.
Maybe
even 95. I don't know.
Yeah. But everything, I mean, I don't know how many times like we've seen all these updates on this 89. That's what is making me excited personally. Because like I said, it's going to be limited. It's going to be as accurate as possible. I can't wait. 89 is my jam, right? But like, let's say it was like 22, right? I don't know if I would get it. like that's if I wanted a 22 Batmobile, right? If I did, I made, you know, if there was a cheaper version, maybe I'd go that route just to have a representation of something that I'm not like super hardcore into, right? But for 89, then yeah, I would go this route, of course, now, because it's like there's so much stuff there. So yeah, Bob Dills, I definitely appreciate Yost taking the time to talk to us directly. That's a great thing about Jazzinc.
Yeah, and it's great that I get to answer these questions and explain. I get a chance to explain why is this stuff so much more expensive, because again, our margins are much lower than any of the competition, so it's not like we're making a big buck on this and that's why it's so expensive. You're getting, it's just much more limited, and I appreciate being able to explain it and tell people, you know, get what you want.
Being able to, yeah, exactly, so people know, right? Because I know, I mean, you hear that a lot. I mean, and not just with you, but like all companies, right? People want to know, you know, well, what can we know? Like Hot Toys doesn't really disclose anything, right? So they're just kind of left with, oh, is this coming? Oh, this just got for pre-order. I have no idea what they did with it, how much it's gonna, you know, how many units are gonna, you know, things like that. So people always want to appreciate that, especially nowadays. We have so much cool stuff in 6 scale that you know, everybody's kind of vying for. But yeah, I think it's 100% right, man. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited for the 89, because I'm with you on that. You know, just as our generation, 89 is my Batman. So yeah, it's pretty tough, man. Webs real quick says, hello, yes, I just received my 89 Batwing on Thursday. Haven't had time to open it yet, but super excited to open it. Next is the 89 and the Kickstarter for the 12th scale.
Right. Yeah, we're going to do that. I hope, I'm still targeting December for that, for the 12 scale. I hope this works, and that we can, that opens the door for more 12 scale stuff. I'd love to do our Batwing in 12 scale, and all the other Batmobiles that we've done in 12 scale. So,
well, you know,
yeah,
I was gonna say, you spoke about InArt briefly before. They're going into 12 scale too. They have a
really?
They showed off the Christian Bale 12 scale Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. So you have very cool, very high quality figures to go with the vehicles.
Yeah. So they're dipping their toes now into 12 scale. So that could be a thing. I mean, that could be a thing. Like you said, just depending on how it goes on your end. People will have options outside of like Mezco and other companies. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Mark Lee is true. It's right. The 2022 is a sleeper hit vehicle. We were surprised. It is twice as popular as the 1995. I mean, literally twice.
I guess. I mean, like we're a different gen. You know, I think maybe that's. I mean, the movie was good. The car's cool. Like I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
Right. In my brain, though, it doesn't like compute, because I remember, you know, that when we were younger. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, no, those are way better. But then other people are like, I wasn't around for this shit. What?
Yeah, but still,
you know,
I mean, there's so much more nostalgia to anything that's older. I wasn't expecting it. There was a big gamble to have something ready when the movie came out, the 2022. We had the vehicle ready, right? And I was like, nobody's seen the movie yet, and it's been not on nobody's brain for years, right? So yeah, I was surprised. Twice the popularity, twice the sales of the 1995.
It's awesome. That is awesome. And now you just need to get on an Arkham Batmobile. Yeah.
Well, we're going to be, as soon as the 1989 Batmobile is in production. So we're talking second half of November. I'm going to put up a poll and say, okay, it's time to start development of a new vehicle, which is the vehicle for 2023 and 23, maybe early 24, the next Batmobile, right? So maybe the 97, maybe the Arkham Knight. We'll put it to a vote.
Yeah, Arkham or animated series car. I wonder how that would work out. That would look pretty cool, though.
I could put it up for a vote. I mean, I'll put it up to a 3-way vote. But I would expect the 97 and the Arkham Knight vehicles to be more popular. But I can put it up for a vote in the group. Just join the Facebook group.
Yeah, Batcopter, maybe. But
well, that's the 66 thing. We're still working on the 1966 Bat bike. By the way, there's still a bit of confusion there, but everybody's going to be getting a signed plate by 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗏 himself. No, so even if you order it now,
who got the bat cycle,
and anybody who's going to order it, everybody's getting a signed plate by 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗏, numbered and signed.
Okay,
And
that's awesome.
His fee is going to charity, his animal charity. So supporting a good cause, people.
Good, that is a good cause. Carlos, good point though, but make it to where people can only vote once though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you set the poll, you can set that option to be like, just you get one vote, that's it. Because we'll all vote like, oh, I want this, that, and then it's skewed. But that's really cool to know about the bat cycle, guys. That's awesome. And of course, shout out to Bob for dropping the Facebook group link in the chat, guys. So definitely
appreciate it.
Come join in to Jazzinc's Facebook if you haven't, right? Lots of great info, and that's where you're doing the votes and all the polls and other insider stuff and whatnot and updates. So aside from obviously here and everywhere else. So anything else we should talk about? I know it's getting a little late for you, so I didn't.
Yeah, just to wrap up, let me answer a couple of questions I see coming up. Any more news on the X-Wing cockpit, Nelson? No, because we're first doing the Jedi Starfighter. After the Jedi Starfighter, we might do either the X-Wing cockpit or the N1 Starfighter from Mandalorian. Not sure. Caleb, Hayden's signature with the Jedi Starfighter. Well, I did look into that. So first off, it's not licensed, so I don't think that's going to work. The numbers are too low. That's another thing. And I think his signature is around $500. So that would be a major price increase that we would have to do. So I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, that is true. Animated Batmobile could be complemented by Mondo. Yeah, that's true. But I gotta wait and see. I don't know if Mondo would do it.
No.
I wonder if they would make a video on that.
The super chat, Carlos. We've got special paint pens. So it's not going to be Sharpies. It's going to be we've got special paint pens, and we've got like some of the signatures, the early stuff that we got back from Zack Snyder. It's been good for over a year now. So that's good.
Nice. Okay, so we have very, very good quality pens on that. So that's a good point, dude. Carlos, dude, thank you, my man, for the super chat. So no, that's great. That is awesome. Any update on? Well, we kind of briefly talked about it. It's just kind of on a wait and see approach right now with the figures, right?
Yeah. So we're still very much committed, and you have to watch back the stream for. But long story short, we're going to be visited by Warner Brothers on the 16th. I hope that we will have some final information there. Basically, the only country that is still dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and taking a long time to do it is the USA. Once we get that, regardless of whatever happens, we're going forward full blast with the figures.
Okay. No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Definitely interested in N1 from Phantom Menace if that were an option. I would think if an N1 was going to be an option, then maybe that could be a similar situation where you can have two versions, but that's kind of tough, right? Because I mean, how you don't know, right? You don't. I mean, let's say you went in and said, okay, we're doing the N1. I mean, how many people are going? You know what I mean? Is there enough volume there? Is there enough interest there to even do two different versions?
Yeah, and if it were just a paint job, then I would say it shouldn't be too hard. But I think there are quite significant differences engineering wise between the Mandalorian, what I'm calling the cool N1 with all the damage and the weathering and the open panels, and something that might work for an N1 Naboo Starfighter. I didn't get that question a lot either, so I don't think.
That'd be tough. Jose Hernandez, my man, says there's a prequel kid still holding out for a little Annie pod racer, and pod racer would be kind of neat, but
I did put it up for a vote, but people voted for the Jedi Starfighter, so Annie's pod racer didn't make it. And I think after that, the N1 and the X-Wing cockpit are both going to be more popular. So again, we're here to serve the people, and the people will decide. But I'm thinking the pod racer is still interesting enough down the line, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a wait and see, I think. Because obviously the Starfighter, or are we getting like a
I'm sorry, I lost you
Coming
there for a
through?
minute. What? Yeah.
Oh, are we good now?
I'm
I think
back.
we're good now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I was just saying, yeah, obviously the Starfighter or even the, X-wing, TIE fighter, those are going to be I think
Yeah.
the more
Bigger. Yeah.
bigger, yeah. Because you got a lot of people, a lot of OT fans, right? A lot of OT fans or a lot of older fans, and usually a lot of older fans have a little bit more finances, secured, and so it's like those are gonna, yeah, I would say, yeah, X-wings,
Yeah. Maybe if you wait 5-10 years, then if we and I hope that we're still around, then those prequel kids will be in that there will be enough people with a disposable income to do the prequel trilogy stuff. I mean, again, I want to be doing this until I retire, and even then. So just stick with us.
Well, I will. So, and I think most people will, man, because this is awesome. I mean, you got a lot coming this month alone, just from now to the end of the year. There's so much happening.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people can't wait for their multiple Batmobiles coming. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see. But before we wrap, I would just say, so the 89, we're gonna probably be seeing something though here soon. Then.
Yeah, it's been. So the reason why it's taking longer than I initially thought is because of those additions and those like that information coming in when we already wrapped up on the final design with that the throttle and the brake pedal, and waiting until we got the part numbers and all that, and so it's all these changes and last minute changes and additions that cost me extra money that people aren't paying for, is why it's taking a little longer. But I do expect in the next couple of weeks to finally have finalized the engineering and do no more changes and additions for now, to be able to show the prototype. And of course, we're going to be showing the prototype before I close the pre-orders. Not going to close the pre-orders before people can see at least the prototype. But bear in mind, that is not the final quality, and the final product is going to be better.
Of course, right. Yeah. Well, I can't wait. Anything else we got? I think we're good.
I think we've gotten it. We've covered it.
Okay.
And
cool. I know, like I said, you wanted, dude. I know it's late for you, so I appreciate you coming in on my time. I know on a weekday, but yeah, I mean, guys, obviously links are in the description below. To the website, to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's all there. Any final thoughts before we wrap?
Thank you. Support us Friday. So Friday is the pre-order for the Jedi Starfighter. It's all going to be the same time. So that's 9 a.m. LA, 12 a.m. New York, 5 p.m. London, 6 p.m. Paris, and Amsterdam, and I forget the rest. But I put that in my Facebook. But that's all the same time. So be ready there. First come, first serve, and support the Jedi Starfighter.
Support the Jedi Starfighter, my friends, and we'll talk again soon. Obviously, I mean, at some point when we've got some good updates, guys. So I appreciate everybody coming in today. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Obviously, check out everything. The links are below, and we will see you guys when we see you in the next time. So
yes,
have a good rest of the week, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.